have benefited from. I think at some point he's got to go with 2 hands and secure the initial rebound.
Graves steps back for 3. And just grazes the rim. Smith the rebound. Here he comes. He has the numbers if he pushes. Harris brings it back out.
I still don't like the commitment that Carolina makes getting back in transition. Time and time again, Wake Forest is getting numbers on the offensive end in transition.
And this man will take full advantage if you're not back. That shot won't go. Graves goes high for the rebound.
And that's exactly what you want to do if you're Carolina, is force him to take perimeter jump shots.
McDonald for 3. In and out. And McFarland, another rebound. He's 8th. Woods calling for the ball. Barry Stewart out there. Stewart and Harris, the 2 impressive freshmen for Wake Forest.
And Wake sticking with the high screen, trying to get the ball into the hands of Smith.
Stewart knocks down the 3, backing up. Harris, Stewart.
I like their 2 freshmen. Stewart and Harris have given them a dimension of 3-point shooting, which they needed.
Graves on the pull-up and a foul. Right now, Wake Forest has the largest lead of the game, a 9-point advantage. Harry Stewart, the freshman from Marietta, Georgia, coming off the bench.
This is fairly well defended. They've got the shot clock running down. They've got a big man trying to penetrate. Graves, pretty good closeout. That's just an excellent jump shot by the freshman.
Free hot breakfast. Real value from your friends at Hampton.
Michael Phelps fuels up with the mega tasty Subway Turkey Melt, a protein-packed powerhouse on freshly baked bread, so he can get to where the action is this winter. Subway, eat fresh.
Got to go. The ridiculously long-lasting gum. New Stride Uber Bubble.
Are you taking a statin medication to lower your bad cholesterol, but your good cholesterol and triglycerides are still out of line? Then you may not be seeing the whole picture. Ask your doctor about Trilipix. If you're at high risk of heart disease and taking a statin to lower bad cholesterol, along with diet, adding Trilipix can lower fatty triglycerides and raise good cholesterol to help improve all 3 cholesterol numbers. Trilipix has not been shown to prevent heart attacks or stroke more than a statin alone.
Trilipix is not for everyone, including people with liver, gallbladder, or severe kidney disease, or nursing women. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take and if you are pregnant or may become pregnant. Blood tests are needed before and during treatment to check for liver problems. Contact your doctor if you develop unexplained muscle pain or weakness, as this can be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. This risk may be increased when Trilipix is used with a statin.
If you cannot afford your medication, call 1-866-4-TRILIPIX for more information. Trilipix, there's more to cholesterol. Get the picture.
College hoop all around. Georgetown picks a good game. Pitt is up by 2 over Georgetown. Meantime, Connecticut, without their head coach Jim Calhoun, medical leave of absence. 15 points right now for Jerome Dyson, who's finally stroked from 3. And they're up 45-38. Both teams 2-3 in the Big East. Ron Williams, of course, started Illinois, set their school record for assists in a season, 264. And now he's leading the Jazz. In fact, twice they've beaten the Spurs this year, and he's buried them. 21 points a game. Utah, San Antonio comes up next.
All right, Carl and Truman and Dick Vitale will be doing the NBA action. As Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Mike Green here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Our drill session presented by KFC. Tonight's hot topics. What a great win for Kansas State, beating #1 Texas. We mentioned about Jim Calhoun. We certainly send our best for him. Memphis right now trailing by 2 early against UTEP. Their Conference USA streak on the line. And Gino Auriemma and the women Huskies just keep winning and winning and winning.
I don't think what Gino Auriemma has accomplished has been given its rightful place in this past decade. They've had a 70-game winning streak. Now they're on a 57-game winning streak. They're playing on the road against the top competition, and they are just hammering everybody.
We were hearing a story early when he first got to that program as Ari Stewart knocks down the 3, and it's a 10-point lead. That it used to be so quiet at the games for the UConn women that students used to go study there. It was actually quieter than the library. Now it is the hottest ticket in town as a foul called on C.J. Harris. Ari Stewart, his second 3-pointer.
And this is out of a timeout, so this is a well-designed play. They come out, they execute it, and Stewart winds up with a wide-open jump shot off of the ball movement and screen set.
That was his third 3-pointer. So they'll take it out of bounds. 16 fouls against Wake. North Carolina Sports Information Director Steve Kirshner was telling us that story. He's a UConn grad. Good defense there from Wake. Aminu with the deflection.
But so many of these passes that we've seen from both teams are just poor decisions as far as angles. Right there, Henson had no chance to see that. He didn't see the defense. All he saw was the offensive player. That's a poor decision.
Henson on a foul. That basket won't count. A turnover for North Carolina is their 8th, which is not a crazy number like they've had last couple of games. But again, the decision-making has not been great.
No, for them, that's a good improvement. And that's all you can ask for if you're Roy Williams with this young team, is to show improvement.
Henson, one of 5 freshmen coming off the bench for Roy Williams. You knew it's going to have your ups and downs when you lose the likes of Tyler Hansbrough, Ty Lawson, Wayne Ellington. And they had some terrific players that won the national championship last year. You need some of the other guys to step up, and you need freshmen to produce.
I like what Roy Williams said. He says, hey, I can tolerate mistakes because I see the picture at the end of the road where we're going to be better and be a complete basketball team. But one thing I can't tolerate is lack of effort. And he's done a good job of trusting his young guys and allowing them to play through mistakes, understanding it's going to get them to where they want to get back to.
Stewart from way downtown nails another. And it's 58-45. A 13-point lead now for Wake. It's gotten a little quiet here at the Dean Dome.
I don't know what all the recruiting analyst says as Ginyard was fouled, but I know Wake Forest hit a bonanza with Stewart. I mean, this is a deep, deep 3.
He's a terrific high school player. His team won the state title last year. Big time player at 6'7". Hoping he can take the role of Jim Johnson, but he can, boy, he can shoot.
Think about it. With Harris and Stewart, they got a 2 and 3 for the future.
Oh, there's no replacement for having the ability to shoot the basketball. And both of these guys, Harris, as we take a look at him, and also Stewart, they certainly have that ability, and it opens up the floor for guys like Smith and Aminu.
Stewart was actually the more highly touted coming in. Harris played so well in preseason that he got the starting role, but Stewart is quick off the bench, not afraid. He had a game earlier where he was 0 for 5 in the first 40 minutes of regulation. Then in overtime, not hesitant, knocked down 2 big shots. Carolina fans a little nervous right now. Their team down by 11 as they try to avoid what would be the first 3-game losing streak in Roy Williams' era here in Chapel Hill. Whistle and a foul and free throws.
When you look on the floor, though, right now, Wake Forest has a more experienced team, a more talented team. If Carolina is going to find a way to win this game, it's going to be through sheer effort and will. And they're going to have to make some 3-point shots.
Now, I'm watching the game, and I love watching the little things. The communication between Gaudio and Smith. Every possession, offensively and defensively, and looking at each other and talking to one another. You are going to be me on the floor. I'm going to trust that you send my message. And he has ultimate trust in his point guard.
I think what he's really saying is, do you really have to graduate this year? Because I need you for years in the future.
Ware puts it in. Travis Ware with the field goal. It's back to 11. He's got 8 points in his first start. Him looking over at him. Gaudio letting him know what he wants to run. He trusts his man, Ish Smith. And a foul call on Thompson. Second foul on Thompson. Just over 10 minutes into the second half. We're at Chapel Hill, North Carolina at the Dean Dome. The Carolina Tar Heels have lost 2 in a row, are 1-3 in January. A very rare tailspin for Roy Williams, but his young, inexperienced team is shorthanded tonight. One of their key players, Ed Davis, is out. Another key sub, Tyler Zeller, going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. And right now, they're in a heap of trouble, down by 11. Outlet pass deflected. Stewart, not that time. Drew, he pushes, they've got the numbers. Drew to Ware, inside, Thompson on the follow. 13 for Thompson, the team's leading scorer, and it's down to 9, the crowd alive again. And Gaudio calls a timeout. So they need their senior to come through. Mark Jackson. Thompson did that time.
Pushing the ball in transition. I love what Thompson is doing. Not giving up on the play. Not looking at a fast break, but instead putting himself in position for the offensive putback. Carolina down 9.
Hey. I was just in town for a few days, and I was wondering if I could say hi to the doctor. Is he in?
He's in Copenhagen.
Oh, well, that's nice.
But you can still see him.
You just said he was in
Copenhagen. Come on.
It's pretty far.
Doc, look who's in town.
Ellen.
Copenhagen?
Cool, right? Vacation.
But still seeing patients. Workaholics.
I heard that.
She said it.
The new Office. See it, live it, share it on the Human Network. Cisco.
The images from Haiti are heartbreaking. Homes, hospitals, and schools are destroyed. Families searching for loved ones, parents trying to feed their children. But we can all do something. We can help the American Red Cross as it delivers the food, water, and medicine that can save lives. Donate $10 by texting Haiti to 90999. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS. Thanks for your help.
NBA League Pass on DirecTV turns your living room into your own home court. Subscribe now and watch up to 40 games a week, up to 20 in brilliant high definition. Follow your favorite team no matter where you live. Tune in and catch the top players and the high definition NBA action delivered straight to your home. NBA League Pass is the ultimate NBA television experience. Don't miss the NBA League Pass free trial from DirecTV, January 18th through the 24th on channel 751 to 768.
Dish Network claims they have the same TV as DirecTV for less. Really? What Dish doesn't tell you about is all of their excessive extra charges, like $5 just to change your programming package, another $60 for each receiver that's not connected to a phone line, or how about $25 for suspending your service for a few months? DirecTV provides all of these services at no extra charge. So don't be fooled by Dish. When you compare, DirecTV wins every time.
Up on the seesaw, Pitt and Georgetown have gone back and forth. It's hard to get a double-digit lead in this game, and it's still close. Gilbert Brown picking up for Ashton Gibbs. There, the flush. Gibbs has only got 6 points on 2 of 12. He's the leading scorer, but on ESPNU, it's a 1-point game. What do we got next? NBA activity. Utah, San Antonio, Dan Schulman, Dick Vitale. Countdown clock says 33-18.
All right, Carl, Tim Duncan with the Spurs, but of course Tim Duncan got it started at Wake Forest. What a spectacular player he was for the Demon Deacons. 2-time ACC Player of the Year. Was the National Player of the Year as well. They had some great names as well as Wake Forest. Not certainly the list that North Carolina has. Williams backs up. Coming up on 9 minutes remaining. Wake has been in control much of this game, although Carolina pulled to within one early in the second half. Smith inside. Oh, pretty play from Ish Smith again.
A good finish with his left hand, a better screen by McFarland to free him up. He set it at an angle so Larry Drew could not go under the screen and gave Ish Smith the chance to get a running start at the big man of Carolina.
Drew to the basket. Ginyard fakes the three. Drew, left corner three. Won't go. Rebound, Ginyard. Inside pass. Travis Ware finds its way to him. He's got 10 points. Carolina try to hang around. Smith the penetration. Inside pass deflected by Ware out of bounds. Nope. Saved by Harris. Harris for three. Knocks it down. C.J. Harris from downtown.
And that's the same play ran to the other side that Wake Forest used for an Ari Stewart three coming out of a timeout. Another good execution in the half court by Wake Forest.
Graves can't answer. Ware tracks it down. Graves will try again. And McFarland the rebound. Number 9 for him.
And this is a make-or-miss league just like the NBA. Both teams have had wide open threes. Harris and Stewart are making. Carolina is getting the same type of looks and just not knocking them down.
Back-to-back threes from the freshman C.J. Harris and Wake Forest with its largest lead of the night, a 15-point advantage with 7:21 remaining.
Talking about the ability to make shots in half court and also in transition. Pushing the ball wide open shots. You're talking about Wake Forest, a couple of PTPers, guys that can make plays. Roy Williams, no choice but to get a TO, baby. You got to get a TO and talk about it.
Wake Forest 6 of 7 from three-point range in the second half. 8 of 15 overall. And again, you look as Roy Williams trying to fire up his team. This Wake Forest team, they didn't get the big recognition coming into the season. They're like 6th or 7th in most of the preseason polls in the ACC. This is a really good team. They've got some good seniors, 3 in the starting lineup. They've got these freshmen, a nice balance on this team.
They do. They got great point guard play. They have shooting, they rebound the ball, and they defend. You're going to win with that combination.
This could be a dangerous team when you talk about NCAA tournament time because they have veterans, they understand their roles, they are well coached, they're a dangerous team.
One thing they do as well as anybody in the country is defend the three. North Carolina 3 for 18 from downtown.
But a lot of those have been good looks. Carolina has gotten some quality shots. They just don't have those knockdown shooters right now.
Ware jump shot in and out. McFarland, who just blocked his 4th shot of the game, gets his 10th rebound. He has done the dirty work. Harris, the floater. Ball tipped. And look at Aminu diving on it. The officials looking at each other. They're going to say it's Carolina ball. And we'll have a timeout. Dino Gaddio's team on the road, hostile territory. They do change the call, but the lead stays the same.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Sunkist Soda. Upload your Dickie V impression for a shot at $10,000. Enter at ESPN.com/BDickieV.
Now on Blu-ray and DVD, it is the world's deadliest game. He is the game's best player.
Take care of your business, don't you?
Completely. Gerard Butler, Ludacris. Gamer. Own it now.
An accident doesn't have to slow you down. From new car replacement and guaranteed repairs to 24-hour claims assistance, we do all we can to help you move on. Liberty Mutual Auto Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
I lost 54 pounds by reducing my daily calories and replacing my usual fast food with Taco Bell's drive-thru diet. Now, these results aren't typical, but for me, they're fantastic.
Want to get started? Download a coupon for a free Fresco taco at drivethruddiet.com.
Mr. Palomalo?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
You want my Coke Zero?
Nah.
Really? We can have it.
A Coke Zero and a smile.
We're Coke brand managers. Coke Zero stole our taste, and they are not stealing our commercial.
Hey, that was for me.
Is he coming? Is he coming?
Coke Zero has a life. Have a Coke
Hey, kid.
Zero and a smile.
Cats.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, there's touchdown Tony Parker getting set. Utah San Antonio just a little over a half hour from now. Tip set for 9:10 Eastern time. I really believe this is Dickie V motivated, though, this whole announcer switch thing. I really do. I'm convinced of it.
It's awesome, baby. Totally awesome.
That's awesome, baby. He's awesome, baby, with a capital A.
Everybody does their impression of Dickie V. Mark, you just did yours. I know why now. He's smiling all the time and having a great time. How can you not in an atmosphere like this when you come to work?
I'll tell you what, college basketball has a unique passion to it that the NBA has by far the best players and the best play. But if you want, before the playoffs start, energy, enthusiasm, come to a big-time college basketball game.
Are you kidding me, baby? This is awesome with a capital A. You're talking about Dapper Dandies. You're talking about PTPs. You gotta love college basketball, Van Gundy.
That's not bad.
Thank you. That's not even good. Come on. You can't go. Now just do that for the 40 other minutes of the game, right?
Right. Imagine keeping that up for the whole game.
No, I can't do that.
Now, do we get to use his private plane to go home tonight? Aminu to the basket. And a blocking foul as Ginyard is shaken up on the play. And right now, Wake Forest in complete control of this one.
Just a gamble by Deion Thompson, giving Aminu a direct line drive, and good body control by Aminu to avoid the charge by sliding away from the contact and get to the free throw line.
Aminu, who chose Wake Forest over North Carolina when he made his decision. Certainly making the Demon Deacons happy. Might be just 2 years into the NBA. As Ginyard will sit down. 6:27 remaining. It is now a 16-point lead.
And Mike, I like the substitution right now with McDonald coming in the game. He looks like he's got a good stroke, and they need somebody who can put the ball in the basket from the perimeter.
Graves gets the rebound. Ware goes up strong, blocked, but a foul. Tell you what, I'm impressed with Ware. Finding his way. Meanwhile, we've got doubleheader this Saturday of college basketball on ESPN, starting at noon Eastern. Number 3 Villanova against St. John's. Then at 2 Eastern, number 3 Kansas versus Iowa State. College basketball ESPN this Saturday.
Mike, I agree with you about the Ware brothers. And what I think should happen at halftime of the North Carolina-Duke game is there should be a cage match between the Ware brothers and the Plumlee brothers from Duke. I don't know who would come out of it, but if you had it, it would draw even more interest in that game.
Well, they also have the Booker brothers at Clemson, too. There's 3 sets of...
All right, well, then I'm betting the Booker brothers. I saw that Booker against... I would take one Booker, the senior Booker, against any 2 of the other brothers. That guy is a stud.
Well, David replaces Travis. Travis getting the start without Ed Davis. North Carolina surely missed Ed Davis. Roy Williams on the officials last couple of minutes. His team down by 15. He's told to knock it off.
Well, the coach makes a good point. You have to have guys that have the ability to knock down shots. There's a reason that Carolina guys are open, because that's exactly what Wake Forest defense is giving them.
Well, he asked him to call the fouls, and they called it on Larry Drew. That's a 16th foul.
You know, he's lost 2 in a row, and they're struggling here tonight. The guy, all he does is win about every game he's ever coached. I mean, it's unbelievable, his record. He's won over 80% of his games when he's been here at Carolina.
And 2 national championships, 3rd fastest to reach 600 wins, best winning percentage of any active coach, 3rd all time. Adolph Rupp and Jerry Tarkanian. And right now, his team in trouble tonight. Wade wisely taking time off the clock. Smith with a 3, knocks it down. And it's 72-54, an 18-point lead, 17 points for Ish Smith.
I thought that was well defended by Carolina. Smith just made a big-time shot.
17 points and 5 assists. And this place has become very quiet. North Carolina perhaps losing 3 in a row for the first time in the Roy Williams era. And 2 straight here at home. Through to the basket. Nice feed to David Ware. And a foul. Philly foul from Woods. And it makes it 72-56.
And you see what Carolina defensively right now, they're in a scramble mode, trying to trap, trying to deny. And what Wake Forest is doing, veteran team, let's be patient and pick them apart. Smith comes off the screen and roll, knocks down the jump shot, well defended, but Smith says, I'm extremely comfortable and confident.
So Ware, little line, Ware says he's more serious than his brother. Travis is more laid back. He's the older brother, by the way, by about a minute.
It's almost like the Van Gundys.
We're not twins. The only thing better than not being twins for us is not being triplets.
Williams inside the Woods, and Woods slams it down. There's McDonald. Good defense from Harris. The Wake Forest defense, very impressive. As we said at the top, one of the best defenses in college basketball. Harris with the block shot, and here comes Wake Forest. Smith looks over once again at Gaudio. Aminu pass off of Woods' hands. North Carolina will need a miracle to come back against Georgia Tech. They were down by 20, came back and took the lead, but it certainly wasn't down by 20 with 4:08 remaining.
And it really doesn't matter, because when you talk about the backcourt play of Wake Forest, the pressure's not going to bother them. So it's a recipe for disaster being in a scramble mode defensively against them.
And that 3 will go. Will Graves, they say a 2. That makes it 16. The margin with 3:58 remaining, and Roy Williams calls timeout.
And Carolina over the years has been the very best in the country in comeback situations, managing the last 4 minutes in comeback situations, using their timeouts, fouling, extending the game. The deficit tonight is probably too much, but they have been very well coached in that regard, from Dean Smith to Bill Guthridge, now to Roy Williams.
Again, they've lost 2 in a row, only 5 times since Roy Williams has been here, and this is his 7th year as the head coach. They've only lost 2 in a row 5 times. He's never lost 3 straight. And the last losing streak this long was back in 03 when Matt Doherty was the coach, and they lost 5 in a row. He knew they were going to have their ups and downs with a young team, but he also had high expectations for the younger players to step up. And again, not to make an excuse, but they're out without a key player at Davis, and their margin for error is certainly not like what it was last year.
And Zeller, so they're really missing 2 in their rotation.
And travel called on Williams. You know, Gaudio doesn't like the call, but he likes the margin right now with 3:49 remaining.
If you think about it, this is a lot like most job search sites. They let everyone in, so the best people can't stand out. Join theladders.com, the premium job site for only 100K plus jobs and only 100K plus talent.
Right now, all over the country, Discover customers are getting 5% cashback bonus on travel. It pays to get more. It pays to Discover.
Some dating sites say they have compatibility all figured out. If that's true, then why do they want me to sign up for a year?
Only you can know who's right for you. At Chemistry.com, we help you really get to know someone before you decide to meet. Chemistry.com. Empower your love life.
We've secretly replaced this man's old car insurance with Esurance. Let's see what happens when he reads a statement.
Oh, yeah! All right.
Apparently, saving money agrees with him. The Switch and Save discount only from Esurance. People seem to like it. Call or click today.
Saturday at 9 on ESPN. Number 6 Duke travels to 16th ranked Clemson. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV.
Hi, boys and girls. Georgetown and Pittsburgh. It's now Georgetown by 7. Last time that Georgetown won at Pitt, it was 2004-2005. It was John Thompson III's first Big East Conference win. They're under 4 there. We're also under 4 in our game, 74-58. Quick baseball item for you. Joel Pinheiro agrees to a 2-year deal with the Angels for $16 million.
Roy Williams' team down by 16 with 3:45 remaining. The crowd has grown quiet here at the Dean Dome. And the Tar Heels on the verge of losing 3 straight. They're trying to fight back. That's a 3. Won't go. Good boxing out. And Smith comes away with it.
Graves had McFarland on him. He should have put the ball on the floor and beaten his man off the dribble to create even a better 3-point opportunity.
Smith, the senior, has run the show beautifully. Good defense from Ware. Williams drives. Shot blocked. David Ware blocked it after Travis did some good defense. Graves to Ware. That's a 2-pointer. Way off the mark. And here comes Smith again. Nice crossover. Flipped up. Won't go. Offensive board deflected, but Smith comes out with it. As we said, he's a senior. What are his pro potential? What's his pro potential, guys? As McFarland gets fouled.
We're talking about Smith. Well, I think this guy's a can't miss on the pro level. One thing he needs to work on, obviously, is his only flaw, and that's shooting the basketball as far as his jump shooting ability, because that will create openings. But on the next level, you can't put a hand on this guy because the rule says you can't do that. So he will be able to get anywhere he wants on the floor and make plays all day.
I think he's a marginal NBA prospect because of his size and shooting. But Mark's right. His speed is a great equalizer, and he sees the floor. Good decision maker, makes the right play.
Yeah, terrific college player who just every year has gotten better and better.
And I'll tell you who I like as an NBA prospect on Wake Forest. I could see McFarland being able to get on somebody's bench as like a developmental 12th, 13th, 14th man type of situation.
He's a mobile 7-footer.
So he's going to be in the league.
The only thing I have against McFarland is you can't spell your first name C-H-A-S and say it's Chase. Because I was taught at Mrs. Okawachi's first grade class at John Swett Elementary School that an E makes the long vowel sound. You can't drop the E and go with the long vowel sound. So it has to be Chaz.
Well, that's not what he's going by.
No, because if I can spell my name J-E-F-F. I can't say my name's Mark. It has to go some phonetically correct.
Hold on, whose class was it?
Mrs. Okawachi, my first grade teacher at John Swett Elementary School. Martinez, California, 94553. You know, your mom makes you memorize your address before you go to school, right?
Where with the steal? as Strickland gets it. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Travis Ware throws it down, but it's still a 17-point deficit as Roy Williams calls timeout. Wake Forest with a terrific bounce-back win after losing on Sunday at Duke. They're on the verge of a big win here in Chapel Hill. Of course, here at Chapel Hill, so many great players. So we asked you guys, all-time college teams. Who's your all-time college team? All right, Jeff, you go first.
Well, I have Magic, I have Jordan, Thompson, Bird, and Alcindor. The only things I regret is not having a spot for Maravich and Bill Walton. Bill Walton, to me, is the second best college player ever behind Alcindor.
So once again, you won 2 of my guys on your team. I'm going with Magic, Pistol Pete Maverick. Danny Manning and what he did with that Kansas team was incredible. Bill Walton, no question about it. And then the captain, Lou Alcindor, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the greatest college basketball player of all time.
You can just have a great team looking at the retired jerseys here at North Carolina. We get into the discussion. Are you talking about greatest college players in terms of their overall talent or what they produced while being college players?
Both. I use my eyes and the stats. And Jabbar, or Alcindor as he was known at that time, it's not even a question. He's the greatest player of all time.
You can't not have Pistol Pete on your list. Seriously. What the man did in college basketball, if you use your eyes, then there's no question about it. You ought to, I guarantee your dad is sitting there saying, how could my boy not have Pistol Pete on him?
My dad's asleep right now. And he's at the Magic game. So I'm not worried about offending him. But who are you going to take off, Jordan or Magic?
Pistol Pete has got to be on the list.
You're like a guy who wants to keep adding and never subtracting. Who are you taking off?
That shot from Graves from downtown. And we'll have a timeout. Of course, the greatest name in North Carolina history in terms of what they accomplished after Michael Jordan. We got a chance to go through this unbelievable museum. And one of the most amazing things you say, Jeff.
Well, if you go back to that shot, Mike and Mark and I were looking at letters from Dean Smith to Michael Jordan on things he had to work on in the summers after his freshman and sophomore year. It was incredible. And guess what? He could check every one of those things off his list because he improved at all of them.
And the other cool letter was on the other side of this. It was a letter from Mike Krzyzewski to Michael Jordan after Jordan had announced that he was going to North Carolina. Krzyzewski saying, hey, we realize you have no longer any interest, but good luck to you. We know you're going to have a fabulous career. Classy move from Krzyzewski. It's just some amazing memorabilia. That's the letter that Dean Smith wrote to Jordan on what to work on.
And he signed it most sincerely, Dean E. Smith. Like, you think Jordan didn't know who was writing him that letter? He could just said Dean or Coach Smith.
It's the 100th year of Carolina basketball. They're going to have an unbelievable event coming up in February where they invite so many of the great players back. They're going to have an alumni game and just gather them.
But I like the tone of the letters from Coach K and from Coach Smith. I got letters from Coach Jeff Van Gundy would say, are you going to play any D for me? These are the type of letters I got from him as a coach underneath my door.
But you didn't save them. You threw those away. That's the difference. So if we ever have a St. John's museum, then I'm really thinking that you should sponsor with your own money. I want to see some of your letters.
You notice I'm quiet, right?
You know, St. John's is having a great event, too. A reunion of the 25th anniversary of their Final Four team.
Right. The 85 team that you played on. They're having it back at Madison Square Garden. So the freshman C.J. Harris will go to the line. McFarland will sit down. Excellent job from McFarland tonight. 10 rebounds and 4 block shots.
His activity level is very, very good. He plays with enthusiasm. He's got a bounce to his game.
Meanwhile, the kid Harris, the freshman, life is good for him right now. He grew up just minutes from the campus. He's in Winston-Salem, a local kid. Great high school career. And now he's a freshman starter on the Demon Deacons and the 3rd leading scorer. He is a good player. This one surprisingly not even close. Wake Forest with just a dominant performance in the second half. Carolina actually pulled it within one in the first couple of minutes of the second half. Well, then Wake went on a run and had not looked back. They've been up by double figures much of the half. And this is an impressive road win for them. They'll improve to 13-4 overall, 3-2 in the ACC. This is a team that's going to be dangerous this year. Great combination of some good senior leadership. That's terrific freshman shooters. And, of course, their great sophomore, Aminu. And Smith just puts an exclamation point on his performance.
What I like about Harris is he's not just a shooter. He feels comfortable with the basketball, putting it on the floor, and you'd love to see that from a young guy.
And Drew hits a three-pointer. Almost the look of like, why couldn't I get that to go down earlier?
Well, to me, over the next week of practice, Carolina has to make sure their spirit stays high, and they have to realize that they've got to, like, just make shots. You got to make more shots than they did tonight, and they had some quality looks against a very good defensive team in Wake Forest.
So Roy Williams will lose 3 in a row for the first time since becoming head coach at North Carolina. Meanwhile, our Sonic most valuable player for tonight, no question about it, Ish Smith. Just a terrific performance. He ran the show from start to finish, Mark.
Well, what you want in your point guard, especially a veteran point guard, rebound the basketball, push it. We don't have to run set offense. When you get the ball in your hands, it's a good job going coast to coast, even off of made shots. The long outlet and then breaking down the defense. Bad transition defense by the Tar Heels, but Ish Smith is not your fault. Once again, off to the races time and time again, all game long. The guys set the tone. Great job of putting pressure on the transition D of the Tar Heels.
Up by 15. I think he deserves a rest.
I'm with Coach Gaudio. You never know.
Got the starters. Most of the starters are in. 4 of the 5 starters. As Wake Forest will get a terrific road win. Anytime you win on the road in the ACC, but to win here in Chapel Hill is huge. Last year, in the only meeting between the two, Wake won. That was in Winston-Salem. As Roy Williams, the first 3-game losing streak in his 7 years as the head coach at Carolina. They'll fall to 12-7 and 1-4 here in the month of January. They'll need Ed Davis back. Davis's ankle injury not considered that serious. Again, there was a chance he was going to play tonight. So they should have him back in time for their next game. But a year after the national championship sometimes is a bumpy road. And Smith will finish with 20 points. What a performance from the senior point guard. A job well done.
This is quite a performance by Wake Forest. From when it got cut to 1 to finish this off, they got to be really happy with what they did.
And Wake will hold it.